Hey team, welcome back to the channel, and today is going to be the first of a few boxing pad reviews. The idea of these reviews are to give you an insight into different types of pads and how I rate them. So I'm going to rate them on four things. They are going to be the comfort of the pad, the quality of the pad, the protection of the pad, and its performance. So I'll give it a rating out of 5, and at the very end I'll give it an overall rating. I'll give the pads an overall rating, and then I'll look at the costs and the value for money. I just want to add that these aren't brand deals. I haven't been paid to put these reviews together. These are honest reviews on how I find the pads. So hopefully it will help you when it comes to purchasing pads. So with all that said, let's jump into the very first review. Okay, with these reviews, I just want to let you know that the pads that we're going to be looking at are going to be the types of pads that personal trainers, boxing coaches, pro boxing trainers are going to be using. They're not going to be like the cheap end boxing fitness pads. Nothing wrong with those, but you kind of get what you pay for with them. These are going to be the more higher end pads that you may want to be looking at if you're doing a lot of pad work, one-to-one, working with clients or working with boxers. So let's have a look at the first one. Okay, so the very first pads that we are going to look at today are these Fly Punchers Mitt. They're lightweight, they're really meant for speed, for combination work, for tech work. You wouldn't want to use these pads if you were dealing with big hitters. You'd be looking at more air pads for that. They have a foam face and a cushioned back, and they have protection over the fingers so your hand is enclosed in the pad. So let's have a look at the first rating, and that was going to be for comfort. So as you can see, your hand fits snugly inside of the pad, and the pad is curved, which gives your hand something to almost grip around. Once my hand's in there, it does feel tight, it does feel secure, it's enclosed, it feels safe, and it is very, very comfortable. Like I said, they fit around my hands, and I feel that I can, or I don't just feel, I know that I can meet punches, I can deliver and feed pads for different punches, different target areas, fast, effectively, without having to worry about these pads slipping off. So for me, they're lightweight and they are extremely comfortable to wear. So my score out of 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the best, comfort of the Fly pads, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. The quality of the pad, the finish is fantastic. They look great. Okay, I've gone for the red, but they look fantastic. The stitching looks very, very good. Very, very high end. The material that they've used is quality. And like I say, the overall finish of the pad is fantastic. Now, I've been using these quite a lot over the last few months, and they still look like I only bought them yesterday. So the quality of these pads, very, very high end, lovely finish. They look great. They feel great. So for quality, I can't not rate these 5 out of 5. So let's move on to protection. I've kind of mentioned that my hand is fully enclosed in the pad, which means my fingers aren't exposed. I have had pads before where the fingers have been exposed. If I've been maybe with a beginner or the boxer may have misread one of the pad calls, they've delayed the punch and my hands come down and the punch has come over the top. They've caught my fingers, and I tell you what, it hurts. These you don't have the problem with because they're fully enclosed. They're cushioned. So, yeah, they're not going to be for big hitters, but we mentioned that. However, I have had quite hard hitters on these pads, and they take a lot of the impact. So, they're great to wear up to a certain point before you then switch to air pads. But you can get away with quite a lot. You can take some big hitters on these pads, and you are very well protected. Great for impact absorption. So again, pretty high score for protection on these pads. I would definitely give them a 4 out of 5. Now, important one, performance. So far they've scored highly in the comfort, the quality and the protection. What do they feel like and what are they like to use? Well, I can safely say these are some of the best pads that I've so far used. They are lightweight but offer protection. They're very easy to feed. I like the fact they do have a logo in the middle of the pad because A, it gives that boxer that target to aim for. It also gives them that visual command, that visual cue. When they see that logo, they can hit it. I've mentioned before they are comfortable. You can deliver fast pads. The boxer doesn't quite land in the middle. Again, the protection is there, so I feel safe. and they're overall fantastic pad. They don't take up too much room in your kit bag if you're traveling anywhere. As you see, they're quite thin, they're quite small, but they do a very good job. They allow you to feed pads fast. You can put pads in the correct position. It allows a little bit of play in the wrists so you can hold them correctly for those body shots. So performance, I really cannot fault these pads, and I've got to score them a 5 out of 5. So overall then, very, very high score for the Fly pads. They come in with an 18 out of 20. So brilliant pair of pads, and I do recommend these. However, one thing we haven't looked at and we're about to look at now is the cost. So quality product, they do come with a cost. Now, these are anywhere between 110 to 130 pounds. Depending on how you see pads, for me, it's a full-time job, so I am happy to spend that money, if not more, on a good pair of pads. So for me, value for money, 4 out of 5, if not 5 out of 5. However, depending on how you use pads, if you're just using them once or twice a week, or if you're just going to use them for fitness, a fitness class, as good as these are, you probably don't need anything this high end. You might need to, or you might want to consider maybe spending a little less, and there will be other reviews on other pads that may suit you better. But these really are for your personal trainers that are doing a lot of one-to-ones, your boxing coaches, your pro boxing trainers. These are the pads for you. If you've got heavyweights, you may look to maybe go towards air pads. But based on value for money, for me, if you're a trainer using pads a lot, 4 out of 5, maybe even 5 out of 5 for value for money. You get what you pay for with these Fly pads. Very good product, and I think at a very reasonable price. That's it, team. That's my very first review on the Fly boxing pads. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment below if there's anything you would like me to review. Let me know how you found this video and if it was useful. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the other reviews that will be coming up very regularly. If you want to learn a little bit more about pad work, check out the link in the description. There's my Pad Work Academy. Thanks very much for watching. Don't go anywhere. Take a look at one of these two videos, and I'll see you on the next video very soon.